It's my hair. Look at it. Look at it from the side. It looks dumb. Oh, give me a good looking hat if I'm going to be on your videos.
It's the end of February, and my wife here has never gone through a bee colony before. Have you?
Nope.
I've never gone through. So I've been keeping bees about 12 or 13 years now, and I think this year we're gonna see if she can help me out. So today what I want to do is I want to show you how we go through a bee colony, frame by frame, identifying all the resources and all the items that we see on each of those frames. All right?
Careful.
We want to put a little bit of smoke to the front where the bees are coming and going. And then we take our hive tool and just gently pop the lid up and puff a little smoke under there. We take a quick look underneath the lid. We're looking for the queen just to make sure that she's not on there. And we look for any hive beetles. All right, so when we set this down, I'd like to set it down just a bit in front of the bee colony because the bees are coming and going from the front of the colony, and so we're going to work from the side. You don't want to work from standing in front of. Make you a little bit of space. Things are very, very sticky. And then pull it back to you just a little bit. You can see it's coming apart between the frames. Very gently. When your hands are moving over, you want to move very slowly and deliberately. Don't wave your hands very quickly. And then since we have the hive hook on our tool, the J-hook tool, right up underneath that, and it creates a little lever, and you watch out for little bee butts. And you come up just a little bit, because if we pull this up too much, the bottom of the frame is going to squish bees at the bottom. Then you take that and you hold that as it's raised up just a little bit. You take the other side and lift it up till it's about parallel. Well, not very slowly. All right, so what we're looking here, so what do you think, what are you seeing on here? We're seeing honey.
And pollen.
There's a little bit of pollen in there. Yep, so we expect to see the food stores on the edge. Brood in there. And some eggs. You can see little eggs and larvae in there. You can see these are flat, but these are much larger and protruding out, similar to a 40 caliber bullet. Those are drone brood. The worker brood is flat and uniform. We had lots of honey, 1, 2, 3, 4 frames of brood, 1 solid frame of pollen. And looking now at the next one, it looks like there's really nothing in there. It's just honeycomb. They'll use that at a later time, but I'm not going to pull that frame out. So now, to put this back together, slowly put that back down, and I can come over on this far side using the hive tool. And you can see I'm just pushing the frames forward. Do the same thing on this side. Now to go down to the second box, take our hive tool in the corner, gently pry up, put a little bit of smoke underneath the box, slowly lift it up, and then set it down on your lid. Three frames of brood. We've got some honey stores in the top, 4 frames of brood, and lots of pollen. So that's 7 frames of brood total. That's a lot at this time of the year. So they're going to have a tendency to really want to swarm, but we'll manage that in a couple weeks time. And we'll just put this back together the exact same way as we did the top box. Sometimes it helps to shake the bees off the frame before you put them back in. We'll come over here, get our other box, very gently put that back down. What's the matter?
You squished one.
Oh, you can always squish a bee or two, I'm sorry. Now we know our queen was in that top box when we set it down, so there's a possibility that she could have come out onto the lid, but I don't see her. So we're gonna smoke these bees down. So I'm gonna take it and wrap those bees off of there. Knock most of those off. Smoke them down. Gently apply the lid and we're done. That colony looks pretty good. That's a really strong, healthy colony. All right, you wanna try one?
Sure.
Where's your hive tool?
I don't have one.
I gave you one. Well, here, I'll give you mine, but next time you make sure that you bring your own hive tool.
More smoke?
Just a little bit of smoke, not a whole lot. Here, let me show you, look. Take the flat part and put it between two spaces and then just use it as a lever. Do the same thing on the other side. There you go. Now you should be able to hook that side up just a little bit.
Very stuck.
It's very sticky. Just gently pry. It's coming. There you go. All right, what do you see?
Honey?
Yep. And what's on the other side?
More honey?
Yep, lots of honey. All right, and set that back in onto the next frame. It's amazing how sticky it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. That honey on the top?
Yep, there's lots of honey. Probably lots of honey on the other side. A little bit of pollen, not too much honey. But food store, so I'd call this a food frame. Those fingertips of the gloves get in the way, don't they?
They do.
I don't think any need more smoke. Nope, I think they're good. They're still nice and calm.
I want them to go away so I don't squish them when I try the frame.
They'll move.
Move these. Oh, this is heavy.
Very heavy. Probably a honey frame.
It looks like brood.
Yep, brood and honey are along the top.
That's your queen.
Yep, there's the queen. Be careful with her. Don't squish her.
More brood.
Yeah, so she's got her head tucked in there. She's checking that cell. See about laying. All right, so they're pretty well provisioned. And I can see the last frame over there is just foundation. So we've got, well, we had 3 frames of food and 2 frames of brood. Or was it 2 frames of food and 3 frames of brood?
I think it was more like 2 frames of food.
3 frames of brood.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good for this time of year.
All right, so everybody goes back this way.
Yep, so now just push everybody away. At this point, it's kind of easier, I think, to use the tool, push them all together. Kind of heavy?
Yeah, it's heavy.
All right. Set it kind of catty corner. Very good. Look, some of these frames is falling in. So this front box, you see this box here, it's kind of coming apart. I probably should replace this box eventually, but we're not going to do that now. So your queen could have moved down here, but this is going to pose a little bit of problem.
That pollen.
There's probably a little bit, yeah, there's pollen in there. So we got a pollen frame. So I won't be surprised if there's a few frames of brood down here on the bottom.
A little bit of brood.
Yep, and I bet there's eggs in the middle there because I can see a circle band where they're hatching.
It's a larvae.
Come down there. Yep, eggs and larvae in there. Probably same on the other side. Lots of brood. So we're into 2 frames of brood. Or excuse me, this is the first frame down here, right? 1 frame of brood. We got pollen, and now brood.
On the other one. More brood.
Yep, more brood. 2 frames. Well, we had 3 or 4 frames of brood on the top, 2 at the bottom. That's 6 total so far. I bet we got 1 or 2 more frames of brood. These bees are going to be ready to swarm in a couple weeks. They are getting ready for springtime. Does it feel heavy?
A little bit.
A bit heavy. Now when you set it down like that, you want to be careful because there could be bees
Yeah.
on the bottom of that frame.
Brood.
Brood, yep, lots of brood. And brooding up for spring. That's 4 frames of brood just in the bottom box alone. All right, so overall, 1, 2, 3, 4 frames of brood in the bottom and 3 or 4 in the top. That's 7 or 8 frames of brood at the end of February. This colony will definitely end up swarming if we don't manage that and do splits beforehand. All right, so let's button it back up. I can see the remaining 3 frames are just foundation. Very good.
That's very
Heavy. Down gently. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get it pretty close.
My close. You want these bees off of here?
If you like, or you can just set it right down
Like
gently.
a terrible idea.
Yeah, just put it down gently, that's fine. You don't have to dump them off of there like I do. And there you go. Easy enough. How do you feel?
Tired.
Tired, yeah. We're gonna have to work on getting these inspections down to about 5 minutes or less.
It's a lot of bending over.
It is a lot of bending over, and we're gonna do that all year, and that's one colony. We're gonna end up having to do about 60 or 70. All right. All right, hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for teaching me. Let me get my hive tool. This looks like a wiener.